Welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Dee Dee, this is Randy, and we're here at Frederick County Animal Control on Rosemont Avenue, bringing you some adoptable pets for you to check out, and maybe you will find your perfect new family addition today. You never know. Our first guest is Boss, and Boss, as you can plainly see, is a puppy. He's only about 5 months old, and he came to the shelter because his owner got into some legal trouble and can no longer take care of him. So Boss is part retriever and part bully breed. We're not sure exactly which ones, but we always say that they're mixed pit if there's any doubt, because a lot of landlords have restrictions that you can't have pits or mixed pits because of a recent court decision, which is probably going to be overturned. But in the meantime, we have to protect them from getting kicked out of houses because of their heritage. And Boss is, as I said, 5 months old, and he is learning all kinds of things. Walking on a leash, he sits when you ask him to. He likes people. But because he's still a baby, we're going to take 4 applications and find the best match for him. Not everyone is up to the challenges of a puppy. And Boss is getting along in the kennel quite well. As you can see from his little white end of his tail, he's a very happy puppy. And I think he's going to make someone a great addition to their family. It's just always our caution that people who are interested in getting a puppy this young, think about your work schedule. Because if you have 8 hours of work, plus your commute time, plus you might want to sleep 6 or 7 hours a night, and then of course there's dinner, maybe homework with the kids, and what ends up happening is in a 24-hour day, there's about a 45-minute window for the dog, which for a puppy just isn't enough to make that work out. So if you have been thinking about getting a puppy, talk to us about it. We'll tell you all about it and spend some time with Boss and our other puppies at the shelter and see if we can make a match. We are back with this little guy that we found on Heinz Road, and so we're calling him Heinz because we don't know his real name. He's about 5, and again, that's a guess because he came to us as a stray, and we're saying that he's mixed shepherd and maybe some kind of hound or a pug or something like that. He is, yes, and found on Heinz Road. So he is a real sweetie, a very polite, likes a tummy rub. He's even going to help Randy do it. A very nice little dog. And you may know this because I've said it before on the show, but 70% of the dogs that we find are reclaimed by their owners. It's pretty good. But that leaves 30% of dogs that come to us without ID and without us knowing who they belong to, that nobody comes to get. So we definitely do our best to find their owners. We put them in the paper, we put them on the TV show, Pet Finder, we do the radio show, we do everything we can. And if we cannot find their owner in a week, which Heinz has been here for about a week, then we offer them for adoption. And obviously, if you know of anyone who's missing their dog, please let them know. Sometimes, surprisingly, people do not know where the only shelter in Frederick County is, and they do not understand that dogs found in the county will end up here. So they don't come and look for them. So getting the word out on that would really help. And but Heinz is a cutie. This is all the bigger he's going to get. He's a small dog. And really a very gentle, sweet little dog. So I hope that someone chooses him soon or that we find his owner. But usually after a week, if we can't find the owner using all of the ways that we have, then we're probably not going to. So there's always the possibility that the owner was away on vacation and the dog was with a pet sitter. Those stories are not very common. But we just like people to know that those are some of the options. If you know of anyone who's missing their dog, just do what you can to get the word out. And if you know anyone who might be a good match for Heinz, then let us know, or have them come in and check him out, because he is a cute little dog. We are back with Kira, and Kira is a dog that was here at the shelter 4 years ago as a puppy. She was adopted by a family who recently brought her back to us. Her coat is normally a little thicker than you see right now because they shaved her. They said they brought her back after 4 years because they could not deal with her shedding. And that's hard for us at the shelter because we do the best we can when people adopt a dog to tell them not only who the dog is, but how having a dog will be. And certainly there are parts of dog ownership that everyone seeks out. The companionship, they get you out and about, they bring other people into your life. They are, it's just a wonderful experience to share your life with a dog. But look at your pretty face. But one of the downsides is that it's a little bit of work too. I mean, you have to train them, you have to brush them, they need veterinary care, and there's some stuff you have to buy when you have a dog that you don't buy when you don't. You can forego buying dog food by making homemade food as long as you have a veterinarian help you with the recipe. You don't have to buy fancy equipment, but you are going to need to buy or make a leash. But it's the vet care that they really need. So you have to do that every year. And as you can see, Kira has great people skills. She likes people. And one of the things, since we just had Heinz on, I want to talk about is something called a consent test. Something that when you adopt a dog you should do is a consent test with a dog you're interested in. And Randy's pretty much doing it right now. If he were to stop petting her, then she would make a move to show him that she wants him to keep doing it. So it's a way that you can find out what a dog thinks. Yes, what she's saying is, yes, pet me. Now, if we have a dog on today that gives the opposite answer, I'll point it out. But this consent test is something that is important to do with your own dog at home, because a lot of people are shocked to find out that their dog doesn't actually like to be petted on the head or petted on the feet, and they just assume that their dog likes to be touched in any way they possibly think up. But what Kira is showing is that she does like to be touched by people. She's going to make it easy for him in any way she can by making it easy to reach her tummy, by moving closer to Randy. And I don't know if you noticed it when we had Heinz, but Heinz did the same thing. He closed his eyes, he made it easy. When Randy stopped touching him, he moved in for more. So that is a very important thing that you should know about any dog you're considering adopting, especially a dog that you're considering having as a child's pet. So if you think that Kira would make a good match for you, then come by and meet her, because you're going to fall in love. We are back with Coco. And Coco, as you can plainly see, is a Rottweiler, and she's only a year old, but she's not going to get as big as some Rottweilers do. I mean, there are 120-pound Rottweilers. It is typical for the girls to be smaller than the boys. And Coco has experience with other dogs, with kids. I believe she lived with some cats. She sits when you ask her to. She fetches and comes. The owners did tell us that she doesn't have very much experience on a leash. It turns out that she is great on the leash. It's just that they didn't have to use one because she was very attentive to them and stayed with them. So at a year old, that's pretty impressive and means she's going to be a pretty good girl. She is nervous now. When she first came in, she was a little more confident, and she took some treats from Randy, but you can see she's looking towards the camera with a little trepidation. And good girl. And one of the things that is true of Rottweilers, and it's what they're meant to do, is that they are a little suspicious of strangers. They are a little worried about perimeters and boundaries, and that's what makes them good protectors and watchdogs. So she is, you know, true to her breed because she is also very willing to overcome that initial suspicion with tail wags and by playing with toys and taking treats. So it appears to be she's pretty typical of her breed, and she's going to make someone a really nice dog because the experience that she had before coming here is perfect. She knows a lot of people. She knows about other dogs' kids. So I think she's going to make somebody very happy. If you are interested in her or you know someone who likes Rotties, then think about sharing her picture on your social networking from petfinder.com, or at the end of the show, we'll show you a link on the screen that you can share. We are back with Gracie and Izzy, and these two dogs are dogs that we would like to get adopted together. So I understand what we're asking is a pretty big deal, because if you already have a dog, you certainly don't want to get 2 new ones and then have more than double your trouble. But if you don't have a dog, Izzy is 6 and Gracie is 7, and they've been together for their whole entire lives. And they, Randy said it's 2.5 dogs. So they're active girls, they're healthy, and they like being together. Gracie cares less about being away from Izzy, but we would like to find them a home together, and that means that somebody has to have just an extra big heart to take on 2 dogs. The nice thing is they're already house trained, they walk on leashes, they already know each other, they can eat together. Izzy, it's okay, it's okay. They don't fight over food when they're together, and they sing together. So these girls are gonna make somebody a nice, they're good in the car, they're going to make somebody a nice set of dogs that already get along together and have experienced their whole lives together. So if you think that you would like to take on the challenge of 2, then we would love to have you come by and meet them and see what you think. And good girls. And they'll tell you all about it. We're going to be back after a short break with some more adoptable animals at Frederick County Animal Control. Good girls.
If you're looking for an incredible experience, meet a shelter pet and adopt. They make super pets who will enrich your life and steal your heart. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Oh, man.
If you're concerned that there is a party taking place where there's underage drinking or drugs being used, or that you've heard that a party is going to take place, there's a tip line that you can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's 301-600-1318.
Are you looking for that perfect spot for your child's next birthday party? Look no farther. Frederick County Parks and Recreation can fulfill all your birthday party needs. Choose from any of our rec center locations. Your party rental includes tables, chairs, paper products, on-site facility supervisor, and much more. Pricing for our parties is $120 for 2 hours in our rec room, or $170 for 2 hours in our rec room and gymnasium. For more information and availability, call 301-600-2936 or visit us on the web at www.recreator.com.
We are back with Wyatt, and Wyatt is a brown tabby domestic short hair, and he is 5 or 6 years old. We're taking a guess because he came to us as a stray cat. Someone lost him, and we know that someone lost him because he's already neutered and he is super friendly to people. He's also a talker. He likes to call out to you when he's in his cage to get attention, and as you can see, he just revels in the attention. He's a really nice cat, and I think he's going to make somebody a great pet. One of the things that people often say about adopting a stray pet is because they don't know their history, they're not sure if they should get a stray pet or a previously owned pet. And that's really up to you, but what I can tell you is that when you adopt a previously owned pet, there's kind of a myth that you know something about them because you're trusting someone else's opinion and that someone else no longer wants the animal. So their judgment of their value might be off a bit, as well as everyone is different in a different situation. You know, you might be an outgoing leadership and strong person at work, whereas at home you might be more compliant and cooperative, or the other way around. It depends. And cats and dogs are the same way. In different situations, they fill a different role. So he is not going to be the same in his previous home completely as he will be in his new home. So some of who he is has to be taken with the situation in consideration. So as you can see, right now and here, he is a love bug. And I think he's going to make a great companion for someone. The nice thing about adopting a cat that is on the early side of middle age is that you're not going to have to take him home and have him leap all over the house, knocking things off bookshelves and that kind of thing. And you can know what his energy level is by meeting him now. It's not going to change. So if you think that very smooth and cool Wyatt would make a good addition for you or someone that you know, then come in and meet him, pass his picture around. He's a very, very nice cat, and we have many of them. Even though we're only going to show you 5 today, there are over 60 in the shelter and our foster homes, and we have plenty of kittens. So don't think that what you see on the show is all we have. We just randomly choose some cats to let you know that there's a wide variety to choose from at your local shelter, and we hope that you come by. Even if you're not planning to adopt, you can volunteer, you can take some training from Sean and help us wait on people who are interested. And check out our Facebook page, because even the pets that are not on the TV show are featured on there all the time. And of course, petfinder.com, we try to get them up every Wednesday. We have a dedicated photograph team that spends the afternoon every Wednesday photographing the new animals, formatting the pictures, putting them on Pet Finder, making sure profiles are up to date. It's quite the undertaking.
Most of the night, actually. Here I am on the dating game.
We are back with Bebe, and she is a beautiful gray tabby and white cat. She is just a year old. And she was previously owned. Her owners gave her up because they're allergic to cats. They didn't have her for very long, and they really thought, they didn't go out looking for a cat. They happened upon her, they took her in, they had other pets, and they didn't know that one of their family members was going to be really allergic to cats. So they couldn't keep her. And they did try to find her a home, and then they brought her here. And because she's only a year old and she's quite lovely, I don't think it's going to be hard for us to find her a home at all. But it's just one of those things that we have so many cats. When people come in, it can be hard for them to choose. And so we wanted to feature her on the TV show so that you could see how pretty she is and how she's very easy to handle, and a very nice cat. We have so many, and they all are unique in their own way, and really the best way for you to choose one is come to the shelter and hang out for an afternoon and meet as many as you can and see what you think. See if there's a match.
Don't go away. Don't go away.
We are back with Looky, and Looky is another brown tabby, also a boy, and Looky is between 1 and 2 years old. He was brought to us by someone who had him only 2 months. They already had a cat, and he and their cat were not the best of friends. And one of the things that people often come to the shelter for is that they have a cat at home, and they come to the shelter and say, I'm looking for a friend for my cat. And it comes as quite a shock to them that cats do not necessarily prefer other cats to people. It doesn't make sense to people because we're very species specific. We live with other people, we raise our children together, we go to events where we see other people, we work with other people, and dogs are very similar to us. But cats are not. Dogs know that without friends, they don't make it in the world, and I think humans feel the same way. But cats can catch their own food, find their own shelter, escape from predators better on their own than with anyone holding them back, so to speak. So while they can be very social, and female cats do share their kittens with sisters and cousins, and mothers will nurse their daughters' kittens, it's more of a temporary arrangement for mothers caring for babies, that they share territory. Cats can survive completely without the help of other cats, and sometimes they prefer it. So if you are thinking about getting a second cat, then you need to think carefully about what your cat wants and how you're going to do that introduction. So in the case of Looky, they just took him in out of the goodness of their heart, trying to give him a home. It didn't occur to them that their other cat would say, absolutely not. And so they brought him here for us to try to find him a home. Randy says he's purring, so he definitely wants to live with people, but not necessarily other cats. So if you do want to introduce a cat to a household with another cat, when you come in to talk to us, we tell you all about how to do that. We recommend keeping them in the bathroom for a week so that you can bond to them, so that the other cat knows they exist, so that they know that they are now in the territory of an existing cat. And we'll go over all of that with you should you care to find out the details. But Looky is a sweet cat with people, and actually it doesn't mean that he wouldn't want to live with certain other cats. Just the two cats in that household were not having it, and so Looky is here looking for a new home. Yeah. We are back with Winnie, and Winnie is 4 years old, and she is a spayed female that also came to us secondhand, and also for the same reason. Other cat did not get along with her. And while some cats, all of you who have multiple cats know, get along great with each other and become best of friends, especially if you adopt sisters or two kittens at the same time. But even that isn't a guarantee. I have had people tell me that they adopted two kittens, and when they became about 9 or 10 months old, they just lived their separate lives in the same household. Getting along okay, but not necessarily choosing to be near each other. So in Winnie's case, she and the other cat didn't want to share a litter box and didn't hang out together. And sometimes it is hard for people to imagine that a cat wouldn't want, most of all, another cat to share her life with. They speak the same language, they enjoy the same activities, but that does not necessarily mean they want to share what they have. So, and as I said, it doesn't mean they wouldn't get along with a different other cat. But Winnie and the other cat in her previous household were not compatible, and so Winnie is here looking for a new home. If you think that Winnie would make a good match for you, come in and meet her. We have cats of every type of personality and energy level here right now. We also have cats of every color, including my favorite, who's not on the show today, but that's Kelly. And Kelly is in our kitty cabana, and you probably saw her last week on our film of the kitty cabana. All of our cats today are showing you how affectionate they are with people, and that's really what's important, because their companionship skills are, you know, why we're attracted to them, why they're attracted to us. They've been domesticated for thousands, if not tens of thousands of years, to fit in with people. And there are some people who think that domesticated animals were created by humans. I think that's a little egocentric, because nature has much more say in how things go than humans or any other species. And dogs and people, horses and people, and cats and people have been drawn together by just the way that communities are civilized. Cats came about, people think, to control rodent population. But in order for them to come in close to us and be interested in the rodents, a ready supply of food, they had to be trusting. They had to handle stress levels around people. They had to accept that even though they are preyed upon by large animals, that they weren't in a lot of danger from people. So their special affinity for people has come by adaptation of our species and their species to be together. So that was a lot of science to say that cats and people are meant to be together, and the cats you've seen today are surely proof of that. We are back with Mia, and Mia is our next guest, a kitten, and I didn't want you to forget that we have, between April and October, over 1,000 kittens every single year. But we don't often show them on the TV show because it's easy for them to find homes because they're babies and they're little and people are in the shelter looking for pets. But one of the things we don't want you to forget is that there are also kittens that get passed over. So Mia's been here for several weeks. Her brother was already adopted. And because we have a lot of other kittens here that are colorful, I'm assuming that's one reason she hasn't been chosen, because her personality is great. She's as playful as any other kitten. But it's hard to know what will or won't attract someone who comes into the shelter to choose a pet. And one of the things that you can't predict is the interaction. You know, either there's a spark or there's not. And Mia has been here a little longer than most kittens. And as you can see, she's beautiful and she's sweet. And there's just not a reason that she won't make someone a great home. But one thing we use the TV show is to promote animals that have been here a little bit of time and need a little boost. She is perfectly beautiful. She won't care if you change her name if you don't like Mia. She is not attached to it any more than she is to living in a cage at the shelter. So she's ready for some change, and I think she's going to do a great job as a pet. And all of our kittens come with color coding of blue, orange, and green. And it could be part of the reason that Mia has been here a little longer than the average kitten is her name tag is green, because she's very playful. And we want people to know when they're choosing a kitten, if you want mellow, easy to handle, can trim their nails without special expertise, to get a blue one. But if you're cat experienced and you know cats, then green cats are more typically what people with experience choose. They're independent, they're smart, they like to play, they like to explore. So we also mark green ones if they're shy. Mia is not shy, but that's another reason that we might give them a green name tag, because we expect people with experience to seek out those kittens and cats that have the green designation. So thank you for joining us on Pet Pals. We'll be back next week with some adoptable pets for you to meet. And in the meantime, if you want to come by the shelter and see our animals, or if you already have the pets that you want, then help us spread the word about these animals by sharing the link at the bottom of your screen or finding their picture on petfinder.com and sharing that on social networking. You can even come by and pick up a poster on Thursdays to hang up at work if you're allowed to do that. If you would like to get on Sean's mailing list to get the poster delivered to you, you can do that too. So we'll make it easy for you to help us out, and don't forget our Facebook page. Oh, the flyer is on Facebook. I didn't know that. So Randy is helping you out with that as well. He does a lot of the Facebook monitoring. So if you want to say hey to Randy, check out the Facebook page. He'll be there.